People all over the world have been able to quit their jobs by selling on Amazon. And it's still not too late to start. If you've been thinking about starting your own Amazon business, there's no better time than now. The number of people buying on Amazon is growing every single year, and it's projected to keep rising all the way through 2030. As you know, Amazon has completely transformed e-commerce. I've made over $100,000 on Amazon FBA, and you can too, if you know the right way to do it. In this video, I will walk you through how I started my Amazon business step by step, so you can learn how you could start your business also. I'll share with you exactly what my startup costs were, how I did it, and the lessons that I learned that could have helped me to make even more money. My name is Michael Austin, and I'm a full-time professor at Simpson University. I teach math, physics, and engineering, and I've always been an entrepreneur at heart. I've been selling online for almost 20 years now. But when I tapped into my passion for sports, Amazon became my biggest moneymaker. When I was in grad school, one of my friends, who was also a big baseball fan, and I decided that we were going to make baseball wallets together and start selling them. Unfortunately, he was busy and an unreliable partner, so I took over the business and started selling myself. I started my business by making a couple of handmade baseball wallet prototypes. Each one was different, and I got connected to a manufacturer who made my first shipment of 1,000 wallets. I had a friend build a website for me and started selling online. One of the cool things about selling online is you never know who's going to find you. I've had sales to big league baseball players, executives from Major League Baseball teams. Sports Illustrated and ESPN even found me and put me in their website and in their magazine. Sales were good, but when a friend suggested selling on Amazon, even back in 2014, I knew there was a massive opportunity. So I took the leap and put my best-selling baseball wallets on Amazon, and have been making money selling on Amazon ever since. So if you're a baseball fan, or if you know someone who is a baseball fan, come pick up one of my wallets. I have white baseball wallets, brown and black ones. The white ones are made from real baseball leather. The brown and black ones are from baseball glove leather. Amazon businesses usually start with market research, but because I created these products myself and had been selling them and gotten feedback from customers, I knew how well they could do online. Now, if you don't have your own product idea that you want to create, Travis has a lot of ideas that you can find on a tool called Helium-10. This is the same method that he has used to bring over 5 products to market in the last 2 years, with over $900,000 in sales. Their results aren't typical, but if you could make even an additional $500,000 every month, almost passively, why wouldn't you do that? If you want to unlock all the premium features to help you find your next product idea on Helium-10, there's a discount code listed below that will help you save money on Helium-10. When I started my business, I knew I needed to have a good logo. I hired one of my friends who is a professional graphic designer for $150. If you don't have a graphic designer, you can go online and hire a professional on Upwork, 99 Designs, or Fiverr. When you're selling online, photos are super important. Fortunately, I had a friend who was a professional who took some pictures for me, and so I didn't have to pay him anything for the pictures. But there are some drawbacks. Because I've introduced new products, one of the challenges I've had in introducing new products over the last almost 20 years now is that the pictures were taken at different times by different photographers, so my pictures haven't been consistent. I just learned about a company called FBA Creatives that Travis has partnered with. They'll help you do all the creative work for your business, all for a single low price. They can create your product images, logo, and packaging, and they can also create your Amazon listing, bullet points, and description. There's a link below, and if you use the coupon code TRAVIS, you'll save 40% on your order. Before I sold my wallets on Amazon, I started selling them through my own personal website. It cost me about $1,000 to get my website up and running. Before I started selling on Amazon, I had a website built for my own business, and I spent about $1,000 to have a website professionally designed and built. Back in 2014, when I first built my website, I was advertising on Google AdWords and on Facebook and Meta, and it was profitable back then. And so I was running ads and driving traffic to my own website, which is one of the challenges of having your own website. Is you have to generate traffic. You have to get customers to come to your website. Unfortunately, the price of ads through Google, through Meta, has increased to the point that it's no longer profitable for me. And so I don't advertise anymore. I was actually losing money running ads because I was paying more for the ad than I was getting profit on the sales. So I stopped running ads. Fortunately, I still get traffic to my website through organic searches, but I'm glad I found Amazon because millions of customers go to Amazon every day to find products. And it's an opportunity that's too good to miss. My next expense was paying over $5,000 to get a patent for my baseball wallets. Now, I don't recommend that everyone get a patent for their products. And in fact, if I had to do it all over again, I probably wouldn't because it's expensive and it takes a long time. But I wanted to protect my idea, and I was nervous that someone would steal it. This actually led me to learn a massive secret about Amazon that I'll share with you at the end of this video. What most sellers do is they start by getting an LLC or a DBA. An LLC stands for Limited Liability Company. It will cost you about $200 from wyregisteredagent.net. Having an LLC will protect your personal assets by separating your business from your personal assets. A DBA means doing business as, or sole proprietorship. You can get one for $99 through LegalZoom.com. And while this is good for marketing and gives you a brand name and brand identity, it doesn't protect your personal assets from business liability. My next expense was $2,000 for a metal cutting die. This was used to cut the leather for my baseball wallets. I purchased it from one of the top manufacturers of cutting dies in Canada, and I thought that this would last me forever, or at least as long as my business lasted. At least that's what I thought. The next step was I needed to find a leather supplier. I found the tannery that sells to Rawlings, who makes professional Major League Baseballs, and I bought directly from the same tannery, so I was able to get the same leather they use for Major League Baseballs. So now that I had a supplier for my leather, I needed to find a manufacturer to actually create and assemble my wallets. So my next expense was spending $6,000 to get my first batch of 1,000 wallets made from the manufacturer. Unfortunately, finding a manufacturer was not straightforward. I went through Alibaba.com and found thousands of manufacturers online from all over the world. But I didn't know who was trustworthy, who made good products, and contacted multiple manufacturers through Alibaba with no success. Then, by a stroke of luck, a friend of a friend was visiting from India, and we got connected, and he loved the idea, and he was connected to a manufacturer back in India who was already making leather wallets. My next expense was $1,200 for a round-trip plane ticket to India to go meet the manufacturer that my friend had connected me with and to make some sample wallets. I personally always like to know the people I'm working with and doing business with, so it was important for me to fly there and meet him face to face and see what he was doing and make sure that we had high quality products to bring to market. So while in India, we picked out samples for leather, thread, liner, and all the materials to make my wallets and made our first samples, and it was perfect. So I bought leather here in the States, cut it, sent it over to India, and I was in business. The good news is if you're looking to find a manufacturer today to partner with, there are lots of resources out there, and there are lots of manufacturers all over the world you can partner with. If you're looking for a manufacturer, you can use Alibaba.com to find thousands of manufacturers from all over the world. You can also use Thomasnet.com to find domestic manufacturers here in the United States, or you can simply Google what you're looking for and see what you can find that way. My next cost was shipping. I spent $200 to send leather from the United States to India, my baseball leather, and $500 to have the finished wallets sent back to the US. Now, today, there are tariffs which may raise the cost, but back then I didn't have to pay any customs fees. Typically, shipping by air is much faster, but also more expensive. If you ship by sea, it's cheaper, but it can take quite a bit longer, up to even a month or so. My next expense was $20 to buy UPC codes on eBay. When I was selling on my own website, I didn't need UPCs, but Amazon requires them. UPC stands for Universal Product Code, and it's the barcode you'll see on the back of every single product. Today, Amazon only accepts UPC codes from GS1. So go there online and you can buy one for $30. My next expense was getting an Amazon seller's account. Amazon offers two types of accounts: an individual account, which is free, and a professional account, which costs $39.99 a month. The individual account, though, charges you 99 cents per item you sell. So if you're planning on selling more than 40 items per month, you're better off to get a professional account. At that point, I spent a little over $15,600 to get my business started. I'd flown around the world, met with different manufacturers and vendors, but I had product in hand and I was ready to hit a home run. I did this all myself and spent a lot of time learning the process. Fortunately for new sellers, there's a shortcut. There's a professional coach who can help you get started with all the details and all the steps to your product to market. This coach's name is Travis, and he has a program called the Passion Product Formula. It will take you step by step through the process of taking your product to market and selling on Amazon. Amazon is a great opportunity to sell your product. Today, Amazon has over 310 million customers around the world, and 56% of them begin their product search on Amazon. I knew that anyone searching for cool wallets or unique baseball gift items will be looking on Amazon. And today, customers from around the world find my baseball wallets, football wallets, and basketball wallets on Amazon every day. In my first 3 years selling on Amazon FBA, I had over $24,000 in sales. But it's important to understand this is revenue, not profit. I sold over 550 units, which cost me $3,400 to manufacture. There are a lot of fees you need to pay when selling on Amazon. I paid over $3,500 for the Amazon referral fee, which is 15% of what you sell on the Amazon platform. It's worth it though, because Amazon has over 310 million customers, and no other platform or marketplace has that many unique individuals that are looking for your product. Then I paid over $2,000 to have Amazon pick, package, and ship my products to the customers. FBA stands for Fulfilled by Amazon. And it's great because it saves me the time of having to package my own products, go to the post office every day and ship them, and frees my time up to do other things. For my first 3 years selling on Amazon, I made over $15,000 in profit. And remind you, I'm doing this on the side while I'm teaching full-time. Finally, it was great to sell on Amazon as opposed to just selling on my website, which is what I was doing before. But it was the Wild West back then. Selling online was a new thing. And in fact, I hired a friend of mine to help me get started on Amazon in exchange for a small percentage of my sales. My sales started slowly, but gradually increased. And by year 3, I had almost $15,000 in revenue and $9,000 in profit. After that, the next several years were spent trying to boost my sales using Amazon PPC, which stands for pay-per-click. PPC allows your listings to show up at the top of Amazon searches. But every time a customer clicks on one of your products, or even a potential customer clicks on one of your products, you have to pay a small fee. This ended up costing me a lot of money because I wasn't an expert and I was trying to run it part-time on the side. Travis has a lot of powerful techniques to help improve your PPC in his Amazon course. The next year, 2017, I made over $21,500 in revenue. After taking out all my expenses, this left me with over $13,500 in net profit. It felt great to see a product that I loved and had poured my heart and soul into creating being loved by so many people around the world. Reading the customer reviews was just amazing to see the feedback I got from satisfied customers. Now, I know this isn't a $100,000 business, but I was working full-time as a professor, and so having this extra money come in as an additional revenue stream was definitely worth it. Over the next few years, through the end of 2024, I made over $97,000 in revenue. After expenses, this left me with $63,000 in profit. Unfortunately, over time, my sales started to decline. I went from selling more than $20,000 a year to selling less than $7,000. My sales decreased for a couple of reasons. First of all, there was more competition on Amazon. When I first started, I was one of 2 manufacturers making baseball wallets. Now there are dozens. Second of all, I neglected my business. I ran out of inventory several times. My listings got deplatformed. Different things happened that cost me sales. But a big reason my business was struggling was because I was so busy. The whole time I was working full-time as a university professor, and Pro Style Sports, my wallet business, was running in the background. I knew that if I committed 100% of my time to growing my online business, my sales would have been much better. But if you're looking for a part-time way to make money on the side, Amazon FBA is a great way to go. So to summarize, in 10 years selling on Amazon, I've made over $140,000 in revenue. After taking out all my expenses, fees, and so on, I was left with $92,000 in profit. So that averages out to over $9,000 in extra cash per year. Making this much money while educating university students is really incredible. But I could have earned so much more money if I learned just these 3 secrets to success. So hang on while we go through these. The first secret is quality control. Travis talks about this in his online program, and you need to have quality control measures in place. Unfortunately, I learned this the hard way. I spent about $2,000 buying a cutting die from professional company in Canada, and we used it for years without any problems here in the US. I tried to save costs by sending my cutting die to India and having them cut the leather for me. Within a few months, the cutting die was completely destroyed, and when they sent it back to me, I discovered the problem. They'd sprayed some sort of corrosive solvent on the cutting die, and it had rusted the entire thing, making it completely useless. Unfortunately, this set me back months and months, and I had to spend several $1,000s to buy a brand new cutting die. So if you ever have a mold or die cast, it's important to make sure the manufacturer knows how to use it, and you send them instructions about proper care, or have a backup one so if it does get broken, your assembly line and manufacturing doesn't go down, it doesn't set you back without any inventory for months. Another important aspect of quality control is inspecting your products after they've been manufactured to make sure that they're up to your quality standards. Selling online, even one bad review can impact your sales and lower your ranking. Now I make sure that not only is my cutting die taken care of, but also every single wallet that I receive from my manufacturers in India, I personally inspect to make sure they're up to my quality standards. I'll take them out of the package, wipe them down if necessary, check them inside and out before I put them in a box and they're ready to ship out to my customers. If you're manufacturing in China, you can hire inspectors to check out your products and make sure they're up to your quality standards for $200. This makes sure your customers get good products and you get good reviews. The second secret I want to share with you is this. A lot of new sellers, for example, think that buying inventory from manufacturers is just like ordering from Amazon. You go online, you place an order, and you tell them what products you want and how many you want to order. Unfortunately, things aren't always that easy. When someone says to just trust them, the secret to remember is this is your business and it's your money. So make sure you have everything written out in an agreement like a formal contract. Fortunately, manufacturing was fine for me. That wasn't an issue. But I did get burned by trusting a reseller. I met a guy with a baseball card shop. He said he could sell 100 of my wallets in his store, no problem. So I made the mistake of trusting him and gave him inventory on his handshake agreement that he would pay me after it had sold. Unfortunately, when it sold, he kept the profits and didn't send me anything. And he was living in another state from me, so I couldn't track him down. So the lesson here is to make sure you always sign a contract to protect yourself legally, because in business, unfortunately, you can't trust everybody. The third secret I'd like to share with you, and this is really important, is that you don't need a patent. I spent over $12,000 on 2 patents, and I thought it would protect me from copycat sellers. But the truth is, you have to enforce a patent if someone infringes on it. And this requires you to hire out legal assistance, which can cost thousands more dollars. Unfortunately, having a successful product is both a blessing and a curse. I had lots of copycat sellers, and I even have a manufacturer in China who's using my exact photos on my product to sell the exact same product from them. I told Amazon they've been removed, but with a patent, unless you're planning on spending money to enforce your patent, it's not worth what you pay for it. If your product is really unique and you want to provide legal protection for it, you can get a provisional patent for a fraction of the cost of a real patent. And it protects your idea for the first year, at which point you can decide to apply for a full patent, or you can let your patent expire. This allows you to launch your business, sell your product, see if it's a viable product and people buy it before you invest thousands and thousands of dollars on getting a full patent, potentially for a product that customers may not buy. I built my business while working full-time, and I know that you can do that too. You can find success with an Amazon business, but starting it yourself today can be challenging, and you can lose money by making beginner mistakes because you don't know what you're doing. I recommend finding a mentor, and I'd recommend Travis. In fact, he has an Amazon FBA program called the Passion Product Formula, and it can help you launch your product and potentially change your life. With this program, you will get over 100 online tutorials, one-on-one coaching, and weekly Q&As. There's a link in the description below if you'd like to sign up, but if you're not ready for that yet, Travis has a completely free 10-hour program that you can sign up for just by clicking right here.